Greetings all, Ferrari 601 here. Welcome back to F1 2017 and welcome back to Monza. In what has become an impromptu mini-series here, I am trying to win at Monza in a Ferrari, a 2017 Ferrari. We tried this yesterday and I just couldn't do it. I messed it up in qualifying. I was going to be on the front row for sure, messed it up, qualified 13th, ended up finishing 4th after fighting my way back up through the field. However, that's not good enough. I want to win at Monza before the Italian Grand Prix weekend, so let's try it. Once again, we're in the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. We're going to see if we can put things right this time around. To the track. I have the car set up exactly as I did in the last video where I tried this in vain, so hopefully I'm going to be able to iron out my personal difficulties here in getting a qualifying lap together. Once again, the delta being shown is to Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, who has provisional pole at the moment. And just like our other qualifying lap, we are trailing him slightly through the first sector. The second chicane, still trailing Hamilton marginally. Slight mistake there into the first Lesmo, lost a little bit more time. DRS now through Serraglio, now coming down to the Ascari chicane where it all came undone yesterday. That is a much better run through Ascari this time. We are still behind Hamilton. I don't think we're going to be in the running for pole position, but I think we're going to be on the front two rows of the grid. Let's see where we ultimately shake out here in our starting position. Closer to Hamilton now, but that Mercedes has superior straight line speed, ever just over the Ferrari. Where do we end up? 4th. All right, so rather than finishing 4th yesterday, we now start 4th. That is a much more respectable qualifying position. I am just behind Sebastian Vettel here, just over a tenth slower.
Hamilton, Bottas, and Sebastian Vettel. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Yes, join us again. We shall very shortly. Just looking at the overall grid, we have the two Mercedes on the front row, and then we in the Ferraris follow nose to tail. Vettel 3rd, and me as Räikkönen in 4th. Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo immediately behind me, as is Felipe Massa in the Williams. So we are now out of the backfield, and we're at the sharp end of the grid, exactly where we should be in this Ferrari. Poor old Stoffel van Dorn starting in 20th, again starting from Switzerland as he did in the last race. So we will see you in mere moments for racing here from Monza. Welcome back to Monza, and as if things couldn't get any more tricky for us in this quest to win, it's raining. I don't know exactly how wet the track is, because of course we don't get to see the track until the formation lap. However, it is raining, and it appears that it will rain for the entire race. The team wants to run intermediate tires, and I think I'm going to trust them on that. We will not need a pit stop at this rate, though, so we'll see how things go. This requires me to stay out of trouble in the first couple of laps, and we're going to have to manage fuel a little bit more aggressively if we're not going to be making a pit stop, so we won't have any slowdown time built in to the running. However, yeah, we can't really do anything about the setup because we are in Parc Fermé conditions. So just double checking the things that we can actually change. Brake bias we can adjust, differential we can adjust, and front wing we can adjust. I don't know if I want to touch anything, to be completely honest. We're just going to have to drive to the conditions and see how it works. So, drive to the conditions we shall right now. Everybody starting on the inters. And we're off. Grip seems okay. Look at those front tire temps. It is a cool and rainy day here at Monza, it appears. Visibility is going to be poor, as you can see. We've got standing water offline, as you might expect. At least we are on the same tires as everybody else. We are all on the inters here. There's understeer offline. Oh boy. Monza is a really fast track. It is the fastest track in Formula One, and it is treacherous at the best of times. In the rain, this is something different. 2008 Italian Grand Prix that I mentioned in the first video here in the Toro Rosso. It was wet and it was won by Sebastian Vettel. I hope that doesn't happen today. I want to be winning this race because I want to put this to bed. I want to win here at Monza in a 2017 car, preferably a Ferrari. Let's get our map set. HUD set up for the race. Brake bias is good, diff is good. And here we go to the grid. Lining up in 4th position. Technically speaking, we are offline. However, I might be in a better position heading down to the first chicane. So we are stopped.
Be patient and watch for the lights.
And we wait for everybody else to assemble behind us. Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, and me as Kimi Räikkönen in P4. I am quite nervous for this. Back of the grid just coming into position now. We are into gear, bringing the revs in. And off we go. Lots of wheel spin off the line. I lose a position to Daniel Ricciardo. I'm in the middle here. Not the best start. Slight damage to the front wing going into turn 1. More contact.
We're seeing minor damage to the front wing. Be easy on the car till we get it repaired. We don't want to risk making this worse.
Essentially nothing I could do to avoid that contact. Trying to put a move on Felipe Massa into the second chicane. It appears we have done it. We're back up to P4. Here's where I'll notice some of that downforce missing. But at the diminished speed that we run in the wet, it doesn't matter as much. That is very squirrely under traction though. Of course, we will not have DRS because we are running in the wet. And our fuel delta is +3. All right, let's get settled in here. The car feels okay. Slight damage to that front wing. Understeer coming into Parabolica. Once we run for a couple of laps at speed, I do expect the line to be cleaned up a little bit. Lewis Hamilton sets fastest lap, as you might expect. He's the only one with a properly clear track in front. Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas immediately in front of us, having a tussle. Wait so long to get the power down. However, we are closer to Vettel now than we were on lap 1. I do have a slipstream. Vettel himself has a slipstream from the Mercedes in front. Dive offline into the braking zone just for some clear air and clear visibility. Short shifting to control that wheel spin. Lots of understeer. Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, scampering off into the distance. That's the advantage that you get with a clear track and nobody ahead. Snatching the brakes in that first part of the braking zone, that hurt me a bit. However, we can keep in touch with the guys in front. Valtteri Bottas really seems to be holding Sebastian up. Hamilton resetting fastest lap as we would expect. Vettel going for Bottas on the inside into the first chicane. This could get very ugly indeed. They both hesitate there in the traction zone. Got a tow. I get by Sebastian for P3. Working lap 3 here. This has already been rather intense. We've still got a long way to go. Now, if I can keep in touch with Bottas, we have a chance of doing something good here. Gap just over 1 second. There's Lewis Hamilton exiting the chicane. Just pretty much staying in Valtteri's wheel tracks here. First Lesmo is a challenging corner in the wet. The road just drops away on the inside and the car just wants to push out wide. Still over 200 miles an hour though, running underneath the banking. This is all very squirrely through Ascari. Back straight and into Parabolica to complete lap number 4.
The distance to the leader
Fastest lap.
4.0 seconds.
I'll take fast lap. Got a slipstream now. That Mercedes is quick. Valtteri brakes early. I'll just slide across his front there. Position is mine. Can we get ourselves after Hamilton? How far up the road is Lewis? I can see him. What is the gap? I would reckon it's about 5 seconds. No, it's 3.3 seconds. All right. That might be tenable. We shall have to see how we can develop this. Coming down the straight. And we reset fastest lap.
Keep this up.
I am faster than Hamilton. Big lockups in the first part of the braking zone. That's okay. That is okay. We're not going to hurt the tires very much because they're just sliding on the wet. Still not the ideal solution to get the car stopped, but it does work. Fernando Alonso is out of the race as we fly off the track there. What happened to the Mikanda? Guessing VTEC kicked in a little bit too hard. Totally lost time to Hamilton in front. We're approaching half distance already. 3.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds. So the gap is relatively stable, but I'm not gaining. Yellow, that's for the Mikanda. We'll have to see if we can do anything about this gap. I don't think anybody's going to have to stop. Considering it is officially a wet session, we do not have to make that mandatory pit stop to change tire compounds. Let's see what the damage is coming into the next intermediate. Purple again, 2 seconds.
2.0 seconds.
We are gaining. We are actually gaining. Fuel delta is +1. We have about another 2 laps to keep attacking before we've got to start managing the fuel pretty heavily. Reset fastest lap. 2.1 seconds is the gap.
This lap for the race.
Come on, little Ferrari. I know you want to grip. I know you want to unleash all the power. Fuel delta plus 0.76. 1.9 seconds is the gap. What do we have for him? I hope we've got something. Lap 9 of 13, 1.5 seconds is that gap, plus 0.62 on the fuel. Just controlling that brake pressure.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
5 laps of fuel and pretty much 5 laps of racing. We are right there on that window of being able to make it or not.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
However, we are right with him now. I don't want to drop down to mix 2 quite yet. We are almost close enough to play with the slipstream.
Heavy rain to stay a while. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
Telling me that the rain is going to stay a while. We've got 4 laps to the end. So, no chance of a reprieve from these conditions. We've got to get by Hamilton soon, though. Reset fastest lap yet again. Trying to play with the slipstream, plus 2.3 or plus 0.23 on the fuel, trying to pressure him into the second chicane, not quite close enough to do so. Feeding that power in, feeling the back end wanting to slither away. Come on. I am trying for all it's worth. I can't quite get closer to him. I'm gonna have to dial the engine back. That will spell the end of my charge for victory. So close to it. I'm gonna have to dial the engine back down the start-finish straight. We have one more attempt into the first chicane, I think. And then that's going to be the end of our challenge for the win.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
I'm right there, I am right there, but I don't have enough fuel left. I get better drive. Challenging for that win. I've made the move stick, but now I have to lean the engine out right away. Can I hold Hamilton behind while I save fuel? We are in the red on fuel. As it stands right now, we will not finish the race. We're going to have to block him down the straight. We're going to have to play dirty because he'll have a slipstream advantage, and I don't have that advantage, of course. Fairline out of the race, meanwhile, wherever he's running, and we're coming up to some lapped traffic. I get it very wrong into Parabolica, still running wide. I can't control it. There we go. Richen up the fuel mix, down start finish. Bring it back to lean. Hamilton has dropped back a little bit.
Caution, caution.
Got a yellow. That's Verline. Hamilton right up with us again. Riching up that mixture. Just for a moment down the straight. Into Parabolica. Let's keep it under control. We've got it under control this time around.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
1 lap of fuel remaining. And 1 lap of racing to go.
Final lap of the race.
Hamilton is getting closer again. He's fighting me into 1. I have to fight for that real estate. I cut him off. Fuel is critical. Delta says plus 0.35. I don't know if that really is the actual number anymore, though, because we're measuring distance here in less than 1 lap. And I don't know if that number is still accurate when you get down to low fuel. Hamilton getting very close indeed. Defensive. I don't want to go defensive, but I have no choice. I've got to richen up that mixture. I have no choice. Hamilton is right on our gearbox. Trying my best to hold him off. Trying to build the speed out of Parabolica. Will he try a move? He's not close enough. We do it. We win at Monza. Yes, finally, in the Ferrari. It took us 3 tries to get a win at Monza, 2 tries in the Ferrari, but it has happened. We have made Kimi Räikkönen a winner at Monza before the Grand Prix weekend in real life. Mission accomplished.
A great win then for the Maranello team today.
Starting from 4th on the grid in unexpectedly wet conditions, fighting off car damage, Lewis Hamilton. And there it is, victory for Kimi Räikkönen.
And they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
I don't know if I would quite call it a lottery, but it was rather intense, I would say that.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
I really do like these podium sequences in this game, I must say. They look really, really cool.
Now then, Anthony Davidson,
Driver of the day time?
I think it's got to be Kimi Räikkönen.
Yes.
He's not always spectacular, but he quietly gets the job done, and that's the case today.
That's it for today's Grand
All right,
Prix.
he said exactly the same thing in the last video when I went from 13th to 4th.
Time.
Not always spectacular, but he gets the job done. I started 4th. I had car damage immediately off the start, and I managed to pass Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel, and I won. I think I'm driver of the day, and I think it was a pretty spectacular performance. And look at that! I set the fastest lap of the race by a good half a second over anybody else, so I think that was a pretty spectacular performance. However, going through the rest of the field, obviously Hamilton and Bottas finished second and third, Vettel in fourth, where I started, and then some movers in the back due to Fairline and Alonso's retirements. No idea what happened to the poor Mikanda. Van Dorn, however, he started in 20th up to 17th. Grosjean there, the last car classified in P18. So that was an interesting race. Finally, I got my win here at Monza in the Ferrari, in a 2017 Ferrari. Yeah. That is mission accomplished, and that brings this impromptu mini-series to the end. I hope you've enjoyed all 3 videos that have constructed this series. I did not intend for it to be a mini-series, but hey, there it is. YouTube, making these videos, it's a journey all in and of itself. So, awesome! I finally got my win at Monza. I'm sure that most of you could have probably done this in your first attempt, probably even in the Toro Rosso, but I'm not that skilled, so finally I have done it in the Ferrari, fighting off the hard-charging Lewis Hamilton in his oil-burning Mercedes. So, that is all I've got for today. Thank you all very, very much for your engagement and continued support, and of course we will be covering the real-world Italian Grand Prix with the live stream there on Sunday. So, thank you all very much for watching. Ferrari Man 601 saying thanks, and we will see you soon.